Welcome to the Winter 2024 final presentations. Let's hear it for everyone here tonight. Some of you were here last night, so you're going to hear some of the same things again, but it's just good for your soul. I'm Tessa Murphy-Romboletti. I'm the executive director of both our English and Spanish language programs, EforAll, para Todos, in the Pioneer Valley. We have a lot of sites all over. And I'm joined this evening by Maria. Where's Maria? Maria Moreno, our program coordinator, our newest team member. People were like, oh no, does this mean Jane or Kata left? And I'm like, no. We're growing, so it's good. It's good. And Jane is not able to be here. She might be looking in on us. She definitely was watching you all last night. So she's on a plane, she's seeing family, and we're happy for her. We're also really jealous because she's going somewhere warm, so it's fine. Not jealous at all. And we have Catalina Herrera. Cata is as you were eating, of course. Cata is the para Todos program manager, so she has Jane's job but for the Spanish language program, and we appreciate her filling in this evening. I'll be very brief because I think a lot of you know what EforAll is, but just in case anyone's tuning in at home, EforAll is a national nonprofit that started in Lowell, Massachusetts, and we have sites all over the state, and we've been slowly expanding across the country. And our mission is to help folks that are not typically represented in economic development. And we do that through our Business Accelerator program and our pitch contests. And everything that we do is totally free. It's available in English and in Spanish. And we're really trying to help people just start or grow their business. So that's our mission. And we work with so many volunteers, really awesome people who are all here tonight. So thank you. If you want to learn more about us, you should be following us on social media. Thank you. I'll get to that later. We're very proud of the people that we serve. We've helped create over 1,400 businesses by EforAll alumni, which represents over $66 million in revenue in 2022. And we're super excited to announce our 2023 survey results later this month. Should be great. And when I ask you guys to fill out that survey a year from now, you're going to totally do it, right? Thank you so much. Great. That represents over 2,000 jobs, local jobs. And so we're really proud of that. And we're really proud that the people that we serve actually represent our communities. So 84% of EforAll businesses are women-owned, 69% are BIPOC-owned, and 31% are immigrant-owned. And again, that's for last year. So I'm excited to see what 2023 brought us, because I think it was even better. And in case you're probably thinking, how many of your businesses are still active? At EforAll, 70% of our businesses are still active at 3 years. So we're very proud of that. And that's why it's so important that you fill out that survey every year, friends. Everyone always asks us, why is this free? What's the catch? There is no catch. We are able to provide this for free because we have incredible partners who help fund our program. So big thanks to the Mass Mutual Foundation and our friends at People's Bank, the City of Holyoke, Santander Bank, the Davis Foundation, Citizens Bank, Mass Growth Capital, Bank ESB, Beverage Foundation, just a lot of really, really awesome partners. So let's give them a round of applause. Can't do this without them. But the main reason why we're here is because of our entrepreneur nuggets. Love you guys so much. Let's hear it for this amazing cohort. It was a very rigorous application process, and these awesome humans got through it and have made it to the end of the 12 weeks. It is not easy. They've been pushed outside of their comfort zone, including last night and tonight, and we're very proud of them. It's great to see the transformation. You guys are like, the caterpillar doesn't know it's becoming a butterfly. You know what I mean? That's you. So some of you might not actually know why you're here or why you're watching from home. So I will just give you a brief overview. Tonight, our entrepreneurs will be presenting about their business, and they're going to be covering this nice list of information. Who are you? What is your business? What are your accelerator goals? We had our entrepreneurs set goals at the very beginning of the class. Some of the goals have changed because that's life and that's business. But who's your customer? That's a huge one. Some people might have walked in at the beginning of the 12 weeks and said, everyone's my customer. That is not what we have learned over the last 3 months. You're going to hear about the future, what their working plan looks like moving forward, because you're not done just because the 12 weeks are done. Stuck with us. Feasibility and sustainability, like how are you actually going to make money and how are you going to stay in business? And what's it going to take for you to run your business? What do the organization and operations look like? At EforAll, we really care about what your social impact is for your business. So yes, it's great that you're gonna start a business, hopefully be able to feed yourself and your family, create some jobs. What's your social impact that you're gonna have on the community? And last, we love to hear it. We have challenged our entrepreneurs to end with an ask, right? What would you do if you had a couple $1,000s and why? So these awesome folks will be presenting this evening, and you know it's been a lot of work to get here, and this is really a lot of the things that we covered over the last 3 months. So the entrepreneurs that are presenting this evening, we have 4 tonight. They will be presenting for 10 minutes, and then our fabulous panel of judges will have 10 minutes of questions. Maria will be, she's like she's like the best multitasker. She's gonna do a little social media, but she's also keeping track of time. And so she'll have her hands up waving at you, entrepreneurs, and you might be in the zone, but it's like just good every now and then to look over at Maria and see if she's holding up a sign that says you have 5 minutes left. And then we'll keep track of time for the judges' questions. You guys will get 10 minutes. You can take turns asking questions. And they're also going to be providing feedback through the EforAll software. So we're excited to have your brains. We love you. But now I'm going to let our judges introduce themselves. So we'll start on this end, Paul, and we will head over.
Hi, everybody. My name is Paul St. Pierre. I'm a regional director with the Massachusetts Office of Business Development. We're an executive branch organization that's dedicated to helping support job creation throughout the Commonwealth. Work with businesses of all different sizes to help coordinate resources that are available through the state and through many of our partners to help support them, help them grow, help them thrive here in Massachusetts.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kim Prada, and I am the owner of Tribe Power Bites LLC. I have been in business for 4 years, since 2020, and I also was a EforAll alumni last year, which is pretty amazing. We specialize in gluten-free and vegan protein bites.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I am Sina Holloman. I am the CEO and owner of Home Care Hands. It is a 24/7 home health care agency and medical staffing agency at the same time. I've been in business for 9 years. We are headquartered in Springfield, Massachusetts, but we have offices throughout Florida, Connecticut, Massachusetts, everywhere. We love what we do, and I'm happy to be here. Look forward to the rest of the night.
All right. I am Amelia. I am a senior account executive at Comcast Business. I work with a lot of the businesses in the Pioneer Valley throughout actually Vermont to basically Connecticut. And I also am the CEO of Senior Properties. So that is a real estate investing firm where we work with buyers, whomever, sellers, and I run a program for women, specifically women in real estate investing. So we operate probably about 26% of that space, so trying to regain our strengths there. And happy to be here.
Let's hear it for our judges. Awesome crew. Volunteering their time for EforAll. Busy, busy humans. We appreciate you so much. All right. Who's ready to hear some final presentations?
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. First, Pawletics, Aliesha.
Hi, thank you everybody for coming. Tad bit nervous. Step up, I'm kind of short here. There we go. Good evening. So I'm Aliesha with Pawletics, and we are a canine mobile dog gym. And I know you're thinking, what is that? Our mission is to ensure the health and happiness of your canine family members. And we do that through, well, picture this. Our mobile gym shows up to your house at a time that's convenient for you, and your dog disappeared.
Okay. Let me.
The computer screen is blank. Where are we?
Oh, there we go.
Just keeping you on your toes. Want to try that again? You can start over.
I'll move this to this hand. All right, so picture this. Our climate-controlled mobile dog gym shows up to your house at a time that's convenient for you. Your pup hops on our non-motorized treadmills called slat mills and gets to run in bliss no matter the weather conditions outside, because we live in New England and you just can't count on anything. I mean, we had summer weather just recently and now we're in the slush. So, there we go. A little bit about me. I graduated from Holyoke Community College with a degree as a veterinary technician. I went on to gain 8 years as a technician and a practice manager. I've spent 23 years in animal rescue and shelter work, volunteering. My first foster was a retired racing greyhound named Mambo that I snuck into my house and hid for 2 weeks before telling my parents that, by the way, I have a large dog that's been living in my room, and they were shocked. She was wonderful and sweet and quiet. That was key. She got a wonderful home. So I transitioned during my journey in vet med, driven by my passion for animals, I discovered that I had an immense joy in helping owners grow their bond with their dogs, nurturing their relationship and just learning about each other. There was nothing more fulfilling than empowering them to enrich their bond and enabling them to live their best lives together. So through my career, I grew as a practice manager, managing a veterinary practice with 5 employees, grossing $650,000 a year. And in 8 years, we grew to 14 employees, grossing over $1 million a year. But I found that my passion was just slowly dying while I sat in my windowless basement cold office, furiously working behind the scenes to grow this business. So I made the decision to transition out of that environment and to pursue my passion for owning my own career, or owning my own business. You could say it was a positive move. Sorry. It allows me to focus on my goals and create a fulfilling career path for myself where I'm working directly with dogs and their families. So, finding Pawletics, what got me here? It was born out of a need I had heard over and over from my clients that, a lot of the behaviors that they had issues with were their dogs were not getting proper exercise. So dogs with anxiety, destructive behaviors, constant barking, and it was just leading to frustration for both owners and the dogs. They were frustrated. They have all this energy and they have nothing to do with it. So how many people in here have dogs? That's what I like to see.
I was going to ask if I could bring my dog tonight.
So my family, we have 3 rescue dogs. I have Onyx, Nova, and Abby. And they come from all over the country. Abby, I met in the back of a pen in Georgia while we were doing a rescue trip, loading up about 150 dogs to come from Georgia up to the States. And I just fell in love with her pitiful face in the back. But they each have their own little quirks. So Onyx is a doggy daycare flunky. He's really big. He's about 95 pounds and thinks he's as small as the top dog. So he lacks body awareness. So he was a bit too much to be playing with the smaller dogs. Nova, my middle one here, with her unknown history before we got her, she's nervous and reactive to unknown people and dogs. And Abby, my little one here, she just gets car sick, and it just makes public walks just unenjoyable for all of us. So I went looking, and I knew that my solution had to check 3 boxes. I had to cater to busy pet owners. I had to support people who had pets like mine with different issues. And that whatever I was doing, I needed to be able to improve the lives and the behavior and the health of the dogs in my community. So I found inspiration by a mobile dog gym started out of Arizona with a dog trainer, and now there are currently 47 across the United States, and Pawletics is the first and so far only one in New England. So did you know that 44.5% of people in the United States have a dog? And the pet industry has had uninterrupted growth in the last 25 years. And last year topped out at a whopping $136 billion, which means we spend a lot of money on the pets that we love. Through my survey, I found that 80% of the people got their dogs for companions, and they just like to relax with them. Also, 43% reported that they don't have any exercise activities that they do really for their dog. They let them out, they run, they let them, go to the bathroom, but that's about it. Strongly correlates with the 42% that report to having health and behavior issues with their dogs, making walks unenjoyable. Shows the connection where highlighting crucial connection between the physical activity and the overall well-being of dogs. So problems, dogs are like kids. You don't give them something constructive to do with their energy, they're gonna find something, and it may not be what you like. Digging, barking, hyperactivity, rough play, but there's good news, because the benefits of keeping your dog healthy and happy and out of trouble with play and exercise has a lot of benefits. It reduces those bad behaviors or gets rid of them. It helps timid and fearful dogs build confidence. It keeps your dog's weight under control. So for my Accelerator goals, I had to secure vehicle funding, do my business branding, and complete the first half of my certification as a canine strength and conditioning coach from the University of North Carolina. So I have secured my vehicle funding. I've completed the first half of my certification, and through the help of Nelson, and That's Awesome Branding, I've been able to figure out my branding, and I am close to finalizing a logo. Now the financials. So through our strategic business plan pegs our monthly expenses at about $1,660. And this budget will allow me to pay off my initial loan and investments within 5 years. Factoring in a little wiggle room, because we all know that there's ups and downs and things that pop up in business that are unexpected. So for the fun part, to cover these costs, I need to do 42 runs a month. That's minimally 2 a day, Monday through Friday. I have 10 appointment slots that are about a half an hour each. And with the additional of 3 meals in Q3, I can run multi-dog households in less time. So 2 dogs cover my operation cost, 5 dogs covers that and allows for a salary, and 10 dogs a day puts me on target to expand additional van and employee and service area. Running out of time. Here is my graph that shows me my total revenue, fixed cost, and variable cost. And this starts with 4 dogs a day and ramps up to 12 dogs a day by quarter 5. These are what the inside of my mobile gym will look like. This is what a non-motorized slat mill is. And my operation is my van, my mill, me as a coach, website with payment and scheduling. My marketing is going to be a strong social media presence. And I have partnerships with local veterinary clinics, dog trainers, groomers, and doggy daycares to help get the word out. My 18-month plans are to finalize my goal, and this quarter is purchasing my van and getting it on the road. Quarter 3 will be strong for my social media, my website. Quarter 4, I'll be purchasing additional mills. And quarter 5, I will be looking towards training a new employee to hire in quarter 6. My time is up. Okay, perfect. So my social impact, I'm promoting pet health and well-being, encouraging responsible pet ownership with our community, and keeping pets in homes and out of shelters. And my ask is I'm asking for $2,733. This will allow me to buy the much needed supplies I need for in the van to run on the treadmill that I've already purchased. $200 for disinfectants and all my cleaning supplies, because it will be cleaned and disinfected in between each run. My AC units, so that way I can have temperature control during the summer times, and $500 for my LLC filing to protect my business. And these are my dogs who love being on the treadmill, and here are them after being on the treadmill.
Great job. Judges, I'll let you take it from here.
So that was a great presentation, and I just love the entire presentation. My first question is, how did your parents not know that you had a dog in the house for 2 weeks? A big dog.
So she was very quiet, and she didn't do stairs, so I had to pick her up to go out of the house. We had 3 stairs, and it was around Christmas time, so I'd be like, you have to go in the other room. I have to bring in some presents. And I would sneak the dog out and let her go to the bathroom and sneak her back in.
Very clever, very clever. Well, this was a great presentation. I love your business idea. Now we know how your parents found out. So question I have for you is, you brought up a screen that showed 43% of dog owners. Nope, yep, keep going.
I think it was the
There it is.
second. Yeah.
Yeah, do not actively exercise their dog. Is that, I see the 31% cited the weather as a hindrance. What are the other reasons? What other ways, what are some of the reasons, the setbacks or drawbacks? Do they not understand that? How can you educate them that their dog needs to be exercised, basically is what the question is.
Showing them that their dog, the behaviors that they're not liking in their dog is because their dog's trying to find something to do with their energy. Properly exercising them, getting them tired, both physically and mentally, gives them something to do with their time. I know that a lot of people, it's not just the weather, but they lack the time. We have families and households that have, we're 2 working people in the household, and they come home at the end of the day and they don't have the energy themselves to go walk their dog for a mile. And when we're walking a dog, they're walking as fast as we are. When they're on the treadmill, they'll go up to 30 miles an hour on their own. So there's no motor. They go as fast or as slow as they want. And we work on strength and conditioning by giving them some resistance on that with a break.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
All right, I've got 2 questions, and I have 2 dogs. And when you get your van, I will be your first customer. Because to answer your question, today, my dogs aren't getting an evening walk.
Exactly, because it's
They're not.
great outside.
I'm going to let them in the backyard. Nala's going to dig. Jax is going to bark until I say, get in the house.
Yep.
So I understand the bad behavior. All right, this was a great presentation. 2 questions. One is more operational. and the second is more personal. There are no places like this in New England. So I'm curious what your target area is going to be, how you're going to market to that area, and how you're going to cultivate that territory.
So currently, I live up in Montague. So I'm looking towards Greenfield, Montague area, and then Northampton and Amherst.
You'll make a killing there.
And then in my Q5, I already have somebody lined up that would like to come on board, and that's her timeline to come down to Hampden County because she lives in Long Meadow. So she would have a van that she operates down in this area.
Okay, great. Yeah, because I was also curious about like partnership and expansion, but I have a ton of questions. But my second question is a little bit more personal. So, like I said, I have 2 dogs, right? My German Shepherd, like one of them, she gets anxiety. Like she has to always be busy. So I tried to put her on my treadmill, which is not non-motorized, and it was a flop. My boy, he won't go anywhere near it. So I'm wondering if you've experienced this, and if not, like, well, your dogs have done it. So how have you experienced this with dogs who might have reservation? Because I'm picturing my dog trying to get on this treadmill and being like, hell no. So how would you get them to go? How are you going to teach them? What's the time frame? How long do we have? So how much do we pay per hour? What if that hour, 30 minutes of it is spent trying to get the dog on the treadmill and learn how to use it? How is that going to look and factor into your costs?
On average, dogs have usually picked it up in their first run. Nova and Abby got right on it and was running in 5 minutes. She was all about it. Nova, she was walking in her first 30-minute run. And by her third one, she was getting going and running. Onyx, he's on his third on it, and he's big and he's nervous. But with positive reinforcement, and we use motivators, some treats and toys to teach them that it's safe. And usually within 15 minutes, a lot of them start to pick it up. But it can take up to 3 visits for them to get really comfortable and running on that treadmill.
And then they'll just run like endlessly, nonstop?
They'll go and start to, like, some will slow down depending on the dog. Like Abby, she'll just keep going until I slow her down. Nova, she'll go and slow down on her own, and then she lays down when she's done.
So the incentives are there.
Yeah, so I'm not just throwing them on and be like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm there encouraging them, and I let owners, I want them there for the first time, but owners are more than welcome to be there if they want, and encouraging their dog to get them to run and be comfortable.
I'm ready. Okay. Hello. You had a really good presentation.
Thank you.
Everything looked really sleek and clean, and I like minimalistic presentations that look like that. But aside from that, I did wanted to ask, I have 2 questions. Are you open to expanding your business services besides just like working out for the dogs? Like, would you do any dog care, or is it just strictly for?
Some of them I'm open to. Doing, like, I have buddy potty breaks, so I'll go in and take care of like another dog in the house. Not looking to get into pet sitting, but I can offer other things. For well-behaved dogs, I will do nail trims, but I will not fight a dog that does not like nail trims, just safety-wise for both myself and the dog in the moment.
Okay, and then I also wanted to ask, who is your direct audience? Like, would you say you're more for higher class, middle class, lower class, or do you have a specific audience or customer base that you want to work strictly with?
So I wanted to make sure that I didn't price myself out of the average household. I want families have dogs. It's not just, working people with no kids. So I wanted to make sure that I stay affordable for them, because they're the ones that are going to, they're feeling it right now in this market, in this economy. And dogs are ending up in shelters because of it. So I've set it at a reasonable pocket-friendly price of $48 a run, but I also have packages if you buy and prepay 4 and 6 runs, and if there's a multi-dog households, a discount for additional runners to run at the same time with you and your 2 dogs.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, That was a very, very good presentation, and you did very well explaining your concept. You didn't really talk about your competition. You mentioned that there are similar operations in other parts of the country. Certainly, there's already an existing dog walking industry that, it's very easy for people just to get on Rover or one of these other apps and find dog walkers. How do you pitch your service as an alternative to this traditional type of dog walking and exercising?
Most dog walkers come in and your dog gets a potty break and a walk around the block. When I'm done with your dog is tired and ready to just relax when you get home. You don't have to further exercise your dog, and your dog also gets a potty break while they're with me. My other options, there are doggy daycares in the area, but a lot of dogs don't fit into that. And it's about I think a dog a week dies in a doggy daycare or boarding facility in Massachusetts alone. There's a new law that's coming out to help protect against that, just due to safety reasons and dog fights. Your dog's safe with me because I'm only running your dog or the dogs at your house in my van at a time. And that also works with dogs who don't get along with other dogs.
Thank you.
I would urge you to consider, strongly consider the Rover and Wags competition piece. Doggy daycare, yes, my boy has gotten kicked out of doggy daycare, and he's not
Which is
allowed.
not for everyone.
Yeah, he's gotten kicked out of 3 of them. It's horrible. They get report cards. He gets horrible ones. So I did resort to dog walking, right? And so I am curious about what sets this apart, like Paul was saying, because the dog walking industry, I think it's about $25 for an hour, and if the dog walker, if you want them to run with your dog, sometimes they will. So, and then also they'll take them to different areas and with dogs, with sniffing and smelling different unfamiliar places, that is mentally stimulating and extremely tiring for them as well. So I would just urge you to consider that piece of it, so that way when you're marketing, you'll have a really strong, I think your business sounds great. I seriously will call you, so. But
My partial counter to that is, right now we live in a society where a lot of people are letting their dogs off leash and don't know their own pet's behavior, or we have pets out there with no recall. Near me, there was a 70-year-old lady walking her Doberman Pinscher on a leash on a path where dogs are supposed to be leashed, and her dog got mauled by 2 golden retrievers off leash where the owner had no control. We also have somebody near us who does dog walking, off-leash dog walking, pack walks, and she lost a dog. That dog never came home. That's not going to happen with me because your dog is inside of a van and is safe from other dogs.
Yeah.
But yes, I
Yeah,
do consider
that's a
that.
great point.
So now we have kind of like a commercial break. We're going to, in between presentations, we're going to let our judges to finish scoring the presentations, and you'll have me. So yeah, Tess is making me do this. Yay! And I have to remind myself that this is not stand-up comedy, so. Okay. Mentors, specialists, interviewers, readers, judges, leaderships, advisory board. A very huge special thank you to you, to every single one of our volunteers. EforAll will not be able to do what we do without you. And especially this month is National Volunteer Month. So we just know how much we appreciate you all. And after all the love that we're giving you, now tell your friends to be volunteers for us, please. We have a pitch contest coming up. Pitch contest is a very, very short version of what we're doing today. We're going to bring entrepreneurs, and they're going to have a table, showcase their products or their services, and then pitch. And they get awarded some money. So tell your friends. Do it yourself. And we also have info sessions. So if you need any more information about either the pitch contest or our accelerator program, there we go. Go to the website. Talk to Jane. Talk to Kata. Tessa. Or you. Or me. Because now I work here. Okay. Round of applause.
Come over here. Is that? How's
I think
that?
that's good.
It's good. All right.
Hi, everybody.
Excellent. Okay. All right. We're good. All right. Hi, I'm Tim,
And I'm Liz.
and we are Poco Riso, a Roman-inspired Italian street food vendor. We will be tabling at farmers markets, wineries, breweries, and other local events. We want to serve lovely snacks like you see here, things that you commonly find throughout Rome when you go to pizza shops and counter service places. Very hard to find around here. Here you see a pizzette, which is like a tiny, crunchy little pizza. We will also be making our specialty, which is supplì.
And supplì are Roman-style fried risotto balls. They're very similar to arancini, if you're familiar with those. We're going to serve them in a variety of classic Italian flavors using our house recipe tomato sauce. It's a sauce that I've personally been developing for the past 25 years. I'm an enthusiastic home cook. I grew up cooking with my mother, and it's always been a passion of mine to have a food-based business. So on the right here, you can see Tim is holding our supplì al telefono. It's our risotto marinara with mozzarella in the middle, and when you break it apart, it has a stringy, gooey mozzarella center, reminiscent of a telephone cord for those of us who remember landlines. And then on the left, you have our amatriciana, which is again our marinara sauce, and it's flavored with bacon, pancetta, and cheeses. We'll also do flavors like carbonaras and basil pestos. And then because risotto is such a great blank canvas to work with, we're also going to riff on some classic American flavors, which I think will be a fun hit at local events based on the season. So we have the corn dog, which is a sweet corn risotto with a cocktail weenie in the middle and a cornmeal batter. And on the right, we have the king crab, which is a lemon thyme risotto and crab in the middle. And we're also working on a riso con pollo, which is a arroz con pollo riff.
So I also like to cook at home. Grew up cooking with my mother as well. We both love to cook. On our second date, I cooked for Liz, and you know it was good, because on our third date, she cooked for me, and you know it was good because I put a ring on it. So, you know, we're very much in love, and we got the chance to go to Rome and travel around, try a bunch of food, see a bunch of things. It was awesome, and we found ourselves there lamenting quite a few times, just like, oh, I wish we could like eat this back at home. They don't have these at home. And then we're like, you know what? This is the perfect idea that we can be the ones to bring this to the Valley area here, and you know, spend more time together and cook food together.
So Poco Riso was born, but we were Ciao Bella for a hot minute. So if you were at a pitch contest in the fall, you might have seen us there under that name. But as part of the program, you know, doing all of our research, we realized a name change was really going to benefit us. So after doing a lot of brainstorming, a little more surveying, we settled on Poco Riso. We love that it's cute and short, easy to remember, easy to pronounce, and it means little rice. So it kind of also harkens back to us enjoying those little tidbits in Rome together.
So doing our research, we figured out who our customer segment is and put together our value proposition. We've got basically the same thing we're giving everyone everywhere, but they all have different pain points. That, you know, Brewery Becky, she's out, she's with her friends. You know, she's got a drink in her hand already. She can't hold a plate and like a fork, a rice ball. Perfect. It's perfect. Farmer's Market Frankie, he's out looking around, he's shopping, he's getting his veggies and stuff, but he needs a snack. We have that right now, and he can bring some home. Get a 6-pack, get 10 of them, bring them home, heat them up at home. They're crunchy, right out of your oven, delicious. Event attendee Andy, he doesn't have time to wait in line, a long, slow-moving line, and then wait 10 more minutes for his food after he's ordered it. He's going to get through our line quick. He's going to get his food in 3 to 5 minutes. It's going to be great. So, everyone, we're going to offer them our easy-to-eat, delicious, crispy Italian food that they can also take home at a farmer's market. Our goals that we completed while we were doing the program, we identified 20 businesses in the area and event organizers that we drafted up an email that we're using as our template to reach out to them and build a relationship with them when we're fully ready to serve food there. But first, we've also contacted our local health departments here in Holyoke and 7 other surrounding towns to understand the permitting needs better, and discovered that for our situation, doing a table and tent to start, we would use a caterer's permit. And we are also still studying for our Serve Safe manager certification and allergy awareness. So we want to have that at the end of April. And our reach is to get 250 Instagram followers. Right now we have 113. And we want to just continue that to build our brand, get word out about us, and get people excited to see us when they come out.
So our 18-month work plan, Tim just talked about what we've done this past quarter. Moving forward, this summer we'll be lightly vending. We know it's our opening summer. We're not expecting to have a full slate of bookings, so we're expecting to not have giant numbers, but it'll give us a good time to continue developing our recipes, testing them with the public, testing our concept, talking to people at all of these events to learn more about what they're hoping to see. We'll continue our social media growth, and we'll also be developing further menu items and also exploring what other kind of offerings we can bring to the Valley, be it workshops. And we're also going to be doing further research into being caterers ourselves, so that way we can offer businesses and smaller events our services. We have a few friends who have expressed interest in hiring us to vend at their, or to bring lunch to their offices. And then moving into 2025, we'd hope to expand. We will be applying to vend at more farmers markets and larger events. We'd like to be permitted at several other towns in the area so we can expand our area, and expanding our menu or our bookings for classes. And ideally, the following summer, we'll be vending 2 to 4 days a week and filling in with catering or workshops. So our financial feasibility and sustainability projections, these are working with some kind of made up numbers because we haven't vended yet. So these are our goal projections for where we would be. And this is showing how we can start to turn a revenue by selling about 600 to 900 supli a month, and also working, those numbers also account for beverage sales and some focaccia sales. So it's not our full menu that we will have, but it kind of gives us an idea of what we would need to be profitable. And what we've learned from doing this exercise in the program is that this summer we're really going to focus on probably adding another item to our menu that's a higher ticket item, maybe a sandwich or an entree. That way we can increase our per ticket order amount. We're hoping that our average ticket price, especially at events and breweries, is about $30 a customer. In our surveying, we found that people were willing to spend $20 to $40 per vendor at an event, so we think that sits in a nice sweet spot. And with some higher ticket items, we don't have to produce quite so much, but we can still prepare those snacky items that we think will be a really good seller because they're unique and so tasty.
Organization and operation. So we'll be, cooking the food ourselves from scratch, and then just seeing what people think about it, and changing things as we need to. We are going to cook out of a commissary kitchen to start, and getting our food from wholesale distributors to keep costs low. Starting with a tent and table operation, we'll vend out of that and use a point-of-sale system and just tabletop ovens to heat the food up on site. And we'll be using our own vehicles to transport this, and eventually potentially either getting a food truck or getting a something with a front of house, like counter service that we would be able to cook in. And then for sales, we would be doing social media marketing and advertising just to get our name out there more. outreach to venue owners and event coordinators, and just build those relationships so that they keep calling us back to come vend at their spaces. And then word of mouth is going to be really important. People try the food, tell their friends about it, get them excited about it, and, you know. Next slide here. Social impact, I think a big thing, you know, we just want, when people see us at an event, they get excited. Like, I know there's a few food people when I go out there, I'm just like, oh, yes, they're here. We want to be that. When people are out having a good time together, they got to eat, and, you know, it's good to bring something back that you really enjoy to your friends and family so they can do that with us, and potentially teaching people how to cook as well. Why? We want to spend more time together and, you know, share what we have with each other. You know, we love food and we love each other. We want to share that with everybody else.
Which brings us to our ask. So we're asking for $2,470, which brings us about 90% of the way to being able to go out and vend. It would cover a tent with sides, 4 folding tables, 3 of these countertop pizza ovens, which are kind of the right size for heating those soupli and mini pizzettes, 3 display cases, storage containers, coolers, and service tools, and then some social media ads so that way we can continue widening our brand awareness in the area. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really want to go first, so I'm gonna go first. I just wanted it to end so that I can talk to you guys. So this was really fun to watch. You definitely can see the passion within both of your dynamics. I love food. I know everybody loves food. So, but I want to say for sure, you guys are definitely gonna grow way quicker than what your goals are. Like, I can already see it. I do a lot of pop-up events for my own business, so if you guys want to connect afterwards, we can talk.
I would love that.
But I did want to ask you guys, do you guys work like a regular job too? Like a corporate job or a day job?
Yes.
I'm not at the moment, but Tim.
I'm a nurse currently.
You're a nurse?
so-
Would you ever leave it to do this
Oh,
full time?
yes. That's
yeah?
so.
Is that
we're
the
trying
goal?
That's the
the
goal.
goal is, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I just wanted to know that, and I think that's it. I had really fun just watching this.
Thank you.
and-
Yeah, the goal
Thank
is
you.
for us to be able to do this together full time because we
Okay.
don't want to go to jobs where
Yeah,
we don't get to.
no, nobody
We don't
wants
get to
to
be
go
creative. We don't get to hang out together.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to try your food.
Thank you.
I'm really excited.
We'll have samples at the 24th event.
I should be there.
Everybody should
Everybody
come.
come to the April 24th event. Yes.
My mouth was watering
Thank you.
when you were describing your risotto balls. I was like, oh my gosh, where are they? Maybe I missed this. You were talking about $30 per customer as like your average like sweet spot for your revenue. I'm curious because food costs can be really tricky.
Yeah.
And that can be the bane of a lot of restaurants' existence. So I know you want to kind of do the catering thing and then maybe get a truck. But have you considered and done the research for maybe being able to keep your food costs, you know, below 20% and still use the wholesale vendors, distributors, and still provide good quality food? Because I was a guest chef one time at a restaurant. I made soul food, which like at my house is amazing, and I used their wholesale distributors and it was disgusting. I was like, what? This is so different. So yes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be about striking the balance between like what we can order from wholesalers and what we can order locally.
I meant to also say in local farms. in
Yeah.
there.
But yeah, we have already done our research. So all of our pricing is using a crazy ingredient spreadsheet where you put in like line item every single ingredient that goes into each product and spits out a number at you. So I think right now we're at like a 30% markup, but we are looking to kind of adjust and see if we can bring that down. And we expect some of our products to be higher priced than other. Like obviously if we ever did something with crab on the market, that would be more expensive than our traditional al telefono, which is pretty low cost to make. Those come in right now at about 65 cents or like 75 cents
Great.
A piece. So I think there's definitely room for us to make a decent profit, even if our ingredient prices do go up a little bit.
Great. One more question, because I totally see this scaling faster than you guys think. And I actually wrote this down before she said that. I'm assuming your target territory is going to be around here,
Yep.
right? You were talking about like
Yeah,
farmers markets
Holyoke,
and
East
stuff like
Hampton,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what happens if this just takes off? Like, have you guys considered that? Like, would you do partnerships? Would you go on Shark Tank? Like, what would you do? What would be the next step to be able to keep up with demand?
Yeah, I think we would hire, definitely. Staffing up would definitely help us produce the quantities we would need in order to vend at larger events and even potentially vend at multiple events. And scaling up into the trailer or potentially a storefront by like 2026. I think by the end of 2025, we'll have a really solid idea of whether we want to do the trailer or a storefront, because there's pros and cons to each. So I think just having a larger facility, being able to hire staff will help us do that scaling. And I think it's kind of like everything we've learned here is, you learn and then you pivot as you need to. So I would love to have the problem of growing too fast so we can solve it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that the presentation, just like the other judges have said, I feel like I'm on the Food Network and I want to, have that, right? So the fact that everyone loves food and everyone loves love, this is really, really exciting. And I believe that it's going to be great because I want to eat it too. I love the social impact of teaching people how to cook, having those cooking classes. I think that is going to be something that will take off as well as, everything else you're doing. But the cooking classes too, because it brings people together. You're showcasing your relationship and your love for cooking, excuse me, and that's going to resonate with a lot of other people. And I think that the cooking classes are a nice focus. It's not just, here we are, we're going to cater, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're also teaching, and I love that. And
Yeah, we think it'll be a nice way to fill in our off season too, and also as a way to develop our social media presence.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, for sure. And so that's a beautiful thing. I just have two more things. One is the end goal. Yes, we know you're a nurse. I need to talk to you. I'm just saying. I'm in home care.
Oh, yeah.
I have questions. So we'll need to connect there. But so you talked about maybe I missed this. Was it the food truck too? Is that what was there an option for that, or are you looking just strictly catering? Or?
So first we want to just have like a tent, just like fold out tables
Right.
there.
Yep.
But then, looking at, depending on pricing, between renting the commissary kitchen, and then if we have our own space with our own kitchen that we can cook in, and then have like a little counter service,
Yeah.
that would probably be better than the commissary. We're thinking if we can find a good deal with that.
Yeah, so I think after we get we get started and we get known, we'll choose whether or not we want to do definitely a trailer instead of a truck, because that way we don't have to maintain a truck vehicle.
Yeah.
But we'll choose and do we'll do the math crunching on whether or not we want to go for a small storefront with maybe a few seats and a counter, or do the trailer. Or if we're really blowing up and everything is going great, we can do both.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Holyoke hummus model of sales.
Yeah, I love the idea of this small, for whatever reason, when you only have, 12 chairs, you have 55 people ready to break down the door. I don't know.
Or orders ahead of time that they can pick up.
Yeah. Okay. No, thank you so much. That was a
Thank you.
great presentation.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
They really covered how delicious everything looked. And of course,
But you can say it again.
oh my God. Yeah, I'm salivating over here. I'm like one of the dogs. It's such a great product because I feel like it has so much appeal, and you can do different variations, but so many different communities and cultures will really be drawn to this type of food. It's just a comfort food, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like the food truck, just offering feedback here, the food truck item I think will be really helpful to you and really help you get into certain types of events that may not accommodate a table as well. I'm curious if you've thought about bigger venues like the Big E and how you might take on a project like that.
that would definitely be for when we have enough staff. I think if we have a really strong start, I would love to do something like that. And I feel like that's the kind of place, where it would pay to have a trailer so we could even expand our offering, so we could do actual cooking on site, or even one of those stalls at the Biggie where you can actually cook, because I think that would be the best way for our product to shine there. Though when we went to the Biggie this past year, we went to an empanada lady who was already basically sold out of product by like 7 o'clock at night. So I guess you don't have to feel bad if you sell out. That's amazing. So it seems like an intimidating thing right now, like getting started, but I would love to work towards doing those kinds of large events.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my other question for you, it's about the cooking classes. It's an interesting thing. But where would you do the cooking classes? Like, what's your location? How do you, is there a different licensing requirement? How does this really fit into the rest of the business?
Yeah, I think there's a few options with developing courses that can be done at like places like breweries or wineries or other people's business. One of our cohort members would love, Shannon, she's not here tonight, but she would love to partner with us too, because she holds like soap making workshops and wants to have food there. I think there's ways to go into other people's homes and offer cooking classes, and there's even local businesses, like local cooking cooking stores where they sell tools where you can actually host classes too.
Yeah, in Northampton, different
Yeah.
summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the one. And
Baker's Pen, yeah.
I know Glendale Ridge Vineyard specifically does, like they do, there's people who sometimes host like a charcuterie board class, and they serve, like you pay enough to get a glass of wine and then do that. And so we can probably do a little like cooking class or something in there.
Excellent. Thank you.
I think that everyone who has your food can then go home and their dogs get all crazy and wild, and then they can call, run them on the treadmill, maybe run ourselves after the risotto balls. But no, this was great.
Thank you.
One last question. Sorry, one last question, because I was thinking, you were making me think, when you mentioned the Big E, I was thinking, like places like the Log Cabin, like, connecting with places like that. And I was wondering, do you guys know Andrew Brow, who started, he has Highbrow in Northampton and Jackalope in Springfield?
I've been to the restaurants, but I don't know him personally.
Yeah. So, maybe consider reaching out to him, because he also does like catering at people's houses for events.
Okay.
But he also has teamed up with like other breweries that don't have food.
Yeah, he's at White Lion now,
Yeah.
right?
White Lion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a couple of other places. So, utilizing their kitchen space and, training their people. So I think White Lion pays their
Neat.
staff and their employees to then, like, you would go in and just teach them how to cook. And so that's an idea too.
That's
it gives you a
awesome.
space, and it gives you, a little bit of profit to make from
Yeah.
somebody else's.
Thank you. That's a great
Yeah.
suggestion.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks, guys. It's great.
Thank
you.
you.
I know. I'm hungry.
And then when they leave, I have like 1,000 questions.
That was amazing. And I'm really, really, really waiting for their showcase. Very excited. Okay, if you know anybody that wants to do this, anybody that you want to invite, of course, just, they have an idea. Please let them know that our applications for the summer 2024 Business Accelerator program are open. You can apply by May 9th and just get in touch with us. Big, big thank you to Holyoke Media for hosting us. They let us use this place. I think every final presentations, they are fully decked out with microphones and stuff like that. But also, if you want to do a podcast, they have a room. If you want your own TV show, they have a room. They have the cameras, they have the lights, they have everything. So contact them. Nelson.
left, right is right. Hey, everybody. All right, so I'm Nelson. I am a strategic designer and the founder of That's Impressive Branding. Like many other entrepreneurs, the journey to entrepreneurship can be a long one. A lot of personal struggle, a lot of passion, and I've played, a lot of different roles, wore a lot of different hats in my life, and I made an attempt at starting to write down, just the list of kind of where my life has been and what I've done, and here's what I came up with. It's just been this big, beautiful mess. But I think we can all relate with this, but really it's all been in search of what I think is summed up in this concept called Ikigai. And in summary, it's basically when you find what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and something that the world needs. When you can meet all four of those criteria, then you found your Ikigai. And I believe for me, that's impressive branding is. My tagline is make it make sense. Because a lot of times when we talk about branding, our eyes go to, we think about the visual parts of branding. We think about logos, we think about colors, fonts, things like that. But really, good branding can touch a lot of our senses, right? It's what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, all those things. And also, there's a sixth one, right, which is our intuition, our gut feeling. There's an author, Marty Neumeier, who wrote the book, The Brand Gap. And in that book, he talks about a brand is when enough people get the same gut feeling about a company, a service, or a product, then you've developed a brand. So then the question becomes, how do I make the right choices in each of these areas to give enough people that same gut feeling about my company or your company to be sure that we've developed a brand? And so that's what my framework is designed to do. We start with a company's brand story, looking at their mission, vision, purpose, and values. We look at their customers, their personality, the competitive landscape, and we create a brand experience touching on each of those items that I mentioned. So in this Accelerator program, my first quarter goals were to work on developing my personal branding, because there's been so much transition in my business, and it really evolved from a custom apparel business. And, so it was a long journey, but, hopefully from these slides, which as a branding person, I'll say that the color is not accurately represented on the screen. But nonetheless, I was able to kind of pin down my personal branding. Not having that done was a hindrance to me getting the website done, but and a little bit of a financial hardship there too kind of made it hard to fully launch the website. But if you have my business card or scan the QR code in the beginning, you can see the progress that we have made on the website so far, and I'm quite impressed with myself. And then I wanted to connect with 3 marketing agencies just to let people know that I exist, that I'm in this space. Hopefully we can collaborate, send referrals and that sort of thing. I also had a stretch goal, which was for the entire year of 2024. I wanted to be able to close my first deal for a full brand strategy and identity design for a starting rate of $4,500. And I'm happy to say that on March 5th, I actually closed that first project at $8,000. Thank you. So looking at customers, I knew that I was going to be, a business-to-business service, but I also knew that starting out that I was going to need to service small businesses. But what I didn't realize was that small business exists on a spectrum, and that some of my services were a better fit for people on one end of the spectrum, and the other services were a better fit for the other people. And so the workshops, I have a That's Impressive workbook, and some DIY tools that are a good resource for solopreneurs and like non-funded or lower income producing businesses. And on the other end, for nonprofits, fully funded projects, we do full brand strategy and create brand identity systems like I had mentioned. My channels for reaching these people are the same across all customer segments, using Instagram and LinkedIn to really just exhibit my portfolio, let people see some of the work we're doing, things that I'm involved with, attending networking events, speaking on other people's platforms, attending my own workshops that I'm going to be putting on, referrals, online portfolio, and email marketing. Because I was able to separate out my customer segments, I was able to create a value proposition that is appealing to each side. And, I won't go through and read those, but I will use that in my own marketing and how I reach different people promoting different services. I crunched the numbers, and even though it's not that big there, but I summarize the key points. My fixed costs of operation for a year are just over $27,000, variable costs just over $5,000, and we would be in the green with a positive income of $44,000 for the year. I'm able to keep costs relatively low because I'm working out of my house. I'm a solopreneur, and I use a network model, so I have access to a lot of people that specialize in different areas, and so I'm able to manage budgets, project manage, and kind of pull in specialists that are the right people for the job, depending on who I'm working with. And what's awesome is that there's plenty of room for growth. I can actually handle 3 times the volume of what I accounted for in these numbers. But that also means I have to find that many customers, so I want it to be realistic and just kind of go with the bare minimum. And also, this doesn't account for increased scope of work. So a lot of times these projects will turn into larger projects as we go through the process. So none of that is accounted for in these numbers. So the question here was, is this business feasible? And missing a slide there, but it is feasible. So here's my timeline for my goals. I'm currently working on 2 branding projects for customers, working on launching that website and finishing the curriculum for my workshops. I currently have Canva for brands and a personal branding workshop that I'm working on right now. And I'm also creating a Notion template that's a great workflow system for my personal use, but also to be able to sell it as well to other businesses. My work right now is still extremely underpriced, but again, just trying to start at that entry level of where I'm at. So as I do more projects, build my portfolio, I'd like to increase the price by about 10% per project. And my hope is that by this time next year, I'll be able to hire a social media manager to kind of take over my own social media and to also begin offering social media management to other clients as well. So that would kind of pay for itself in that regard. And for social impact, I've decided I'm going to offer my workshops 100% free. I want to be able to give back to business owners and entrepreneurs. And, it's a great way for me to really prove myself and show my knowledge and expertise and to be able to give back in that way. Also, as part of my personal story, recovery is very near and dear to me, and I would like to register when I'm hiring people as a recovery-ready workplace, a place that is sensitive to the needs of those that are in recovery, understanding that people have past, people have records and backgrounds and that sort of thing, and I want to be able to understand those struggles and create opportunities for people, as just like programs like EforAll was able to create for me. So, here's the ask. It's a total of $2,500. I have some contracts already, but I would like to sit down with a lawyer and really make sure that they're intact for the work that I'm doing and that I understand them. So if I'm asking other people to sign things, I want to, understand what I'm having them sign and how that works. Finish the website. I think we're about $1,000 away from doing that. I have the workbook. I have the template. I have all these materials are already done. I have all of the content, but it just takes a lot of time to design them and brand them and do all of that. And it's just better to kind of hire somebody to do that while I work on some of my other goals. And then $500 for help with marketing, just getting the word out there, letting people know about the workshops and that I exist. So that's it. Thank you.
I'm going to start out I might have more questions for you, but you mentioned that one of your Accelerator goals was to reach out and contact 3 marketing agencies, presumably potential competitors of yours.
Yeah.
My question is, how was that helpful to you, and what did you learn from contacting these competitors?
I think that, well, what I learned was that none of them were actually facilitating a framework like the one that I have. So that was helpful for me being able to differentiate myself amongst that competition. Generally, what I learned was that a lot of people that come to these agencies, I guess, have already done their branding work, and they're looking more for ad placement and that sort of thing. But my thoughts is basically if somebody comes in that isn't a good fit for them, that they could refer them to me and vice versa. Maybe if the job wasn't big enough or, things like that. And I actually did, within a couple of weeks after reaching out to Mass Live Media, they sent me a client. So that was cool.
All right, I'll go. I have a couple questions. Great job.
Thank you.
I'll be your next client.
Let's talk.
All right, so first question is, we talked about fixed cost 27K, variable 5K, net income 44K. Are these projections or are these real numbers? Because I know you also said you had 8,000 in revenue already.
So we used that as a baseline. What I factored in was if I got one client at that rate per quarter and then one smaller client per month. That's what those numbers were based on.
Okay, so they're projections.
Yes.
All right, cool. Second question. Branding and marketing are like different, but the same to me. I always get really confused. I believe that branding and marketing is super important, especially today when you have everybody doing everything on social media and, really trying to get their business out there. With branding and with your agency, I love how you started off and you really identified and spoke about that sixth sense, right? Mm-hmm. And that gut feeling. I've never heard a branding or a marketing company talk about that, and that really resonated with me. There's a marketing company in Northampton. It's called Market Master Legal. Do you know them?
I actually hadn't heard of them, no.
They focus specifically on the call Mark E. Solomon and Morelli, okay. Or the legal ones. So like the ones that and they it's like etched in your brain. With that said, are you gonna have like a niche of a customer, kind of like like they do, or then there's also a marketing doctor, they kind of have niche customers. Yeah. Are you going to be all over? Like we want to, work with Facebook. We want to work with, the small solopreneurs here. And if you're going to do that, are you a one-man show or are you delegating? Because these are a lot of different tasks and a lot of different ways to bring in the brand so that we as consumers can understand that sixth sense. So I'm kind of struggling with understanding how it's all going to culminate together. It's sounding good though, but I want a little bit of clarity on that.
Yeah, I think I understand the question. I may not, but
it's okay. I can ask it another way.
Yeah, so let's see how I do.
Yes.
So as far as niching down, I think it's a little early to do that. I do think that it's necessary to claim a certain level of expertise in one particular area to specialize, but not necessarily closing myself off. But, I'm sure that those people that do Mark E. Solomon probably do work on other projects, but that's not what they're putting out to the world, right? So kind of, I think I'll feel out who my best customer is the more projects I work on. I think, can you ask the second part of the question?
Yeah.
Again?
So, and again, right, this is how I think of branding. It's just so big and it encompasses so much, right? So we have the solopreneurs, which you kind of touched on, and then we have the nonprofits, and then we have these big corporations, even Facebook, marketing doctor does branding or marketing for Facebook, right? So how are you going to identify these customers, and how are you going to provide like their your services for their needs, right? Are you delegating these tasks? So are you reaching out to a web designer, or are you doing the web designing? Are you reaching out to another marketing company, which I don't necessarily think is 100% competition? There could be collaboration. So are we collaborating, or are we doing it all in-house?
So I consider myself, like, I do some design, but not all design. I do some website, but not all website. So I think it really matters on the need of the job and the budget of the job. And so if there is somebody who specializes only in doing websites for lawyers, that's what they've done, proven time and time again, then I'm probably bringing in that person to work on that project. So my process, I guess, is kind of a little more in and out. I'm not working with people long term. Eventually I will, when I hire somebody and, on like the social media management side of things. But basically, my process is I kind of onboard myself to the client that I'm working with. I begin to understand their organization, their policies, what their problems are, and spend some time in diagnosing that. And then we come up with some tangible goals, and we kind of create the branding and execute on those goals. And then ideally, these companies like the one I'm currently working with, they have their own marketing people who would be able to execute it.
Gotcha.
So I kind of give them what's more like strategic planning, a brand style guide, rules on how to proceed going forward, and recommendations, and then ongoing consultation as well.
Great. Okay, because you answered my third question. Are your customers going to be recurring? So,
Yeah.
all right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I did enjoy your presentation. It was funny. I love dry humor, so it was pretty funny for me. I did have a couple of questions. I don't know if you touched on these, but I did want to ask, how are you looking to reaching your customers? Are you looking to doing like networking events? Are you looking to reaching them through an email list? Or how are you going to reach potential clients? Because I know that there are a lot of branding, marketing agencies or people, but what is going to separate you from all of them? And if you know like that you're going to separate from them, you definitely got to be in like rooms, like a lot of different networking events and stuff, because I there's so many marketing and branding things that I know and that I work with and stuff, and there is potential collaboration, but I just wanted to know what's going to separate you from them, and where are you going to reaching your clients or potential clients, and how are you networking yourself for that?
Yeah, so on the networking piece, I definitely plan on like being in those rooms. I signed up with like the Holyoke Chamber, attending a YPS event that's coming up. Valley Venture Mentor has their, community nights. And so I'm looking to, be a presence. EforAll has stuff going on. But also I think that the workshops are going to be a great source. I mean, they're free. I want to send that out to as many people as possible. I'm sure EforAll wouldn't mind, putting out an email, hey, free branding trainings, right? So it really, I think that that's going to be a good source of, referrals. And then the beautiful thing, when it comes to competition, like creative work is like you can design, but you can't design like me, and I can't design like you. So like when somebody sees my portfolio, sees something that I did, right? They're probably going to come to me to hire me because they want something like that, as opposed to like taking my work and bringing it to somebody else and saying, hey, can you do that? Right? So there's kind of that personal aspect in it that I think gives me a little leverage.
Yeah, and I wanted to say, I do want to do a workshop, so if you can let me know about the workshop. And also, if you want to connect afterwards, I love networking events, and we can meet at a networking event, or I can tell you about networking events, but you definitely got to be in those networking events.
And I'm like super introverted, so anybody I can.
I'm not introverted, so you definitely can come with me.
I mean, be my wing person. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Your
you.
wing person, yeah.
We'll all be your wing people. I enjoyed your presentation as well. I enjoyed the beginning, your mission, and your why to doing, how you got to where you are. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
Just as all the other judges are saying, your presence is important. That's important your idea of having free workshops is wonderful, because those folks who are starting out, those businesses that are starting out, those businesses that have already started, but, can't afford these $1,300 workshops and things like that. It's
Right.
going to be very, very beneficial for you. I can see that already. Eventually, you do want to get to pricing out a few things, because free is good, but not,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
right, not forever.
Not forever.
Then after you've come to a certain point, then you sprinkle on the free stuff too. But for now, the free workshops, I think, are really, really a brilliant idea. I wanted to ask you really quickly about I know that Amelia touched on it too, about your customer, your niche, right? Who is your customer? Because you have this presentation and you talk to us all about that sixth sense, that sixth sense, excuse me, about having that gut feeling. What is your gut feeling about the particular client or target client that you want to work with? I know that you're going to, experiment. I know you're going to experiment and meet different folks and try different things. But what is there a niche that you already have in mind?
Yeah, so right now, like that project I'm working on is for a nonprofit. I definitely think nonprofits are a good fit for me. And I've worked for the last 10 years in like that nonprofit sector, and sometimes we need somebody who like speaks our language to kind of connect with. And so I think it's kind of like low-hanging fruit for me. So we can definitely, I can mesh well with people from a lot of nonprofits. But for me, I think the biggest thing, so actually this is really important for me to say, and this is part of my branding story. I think what was so hard for me with figuring out my own branding was I thought stepping into this space that it was necessary for me to like put on a suit and be corporate, because I'm trying to go after big money corporations. And I ended up getting that job, and I was told afterwards that I got that job because I was not a classically trained person, because I wasn't a corporate person. So I think somebody that I can just be myself around and understand that like my value is just like up here and like who I am as a person. And, I want to encourage people. I want to show love. And if if you receive that, then I think that you're my ideal client.
Right. That's beautifully said. So thank you for sharing that. Your social impact, again, with the free workshops and the Recovery Ready Workplace.
Oh, yeah.
That is a beautiful thing. It's
Yeah.
giving people hope. It's giving people opportunities to see that they can do and be all they can be. Can I say that?
Yeah, like the Army.
I'm like, wait a minute, is that the Army?
Marketing.
Right, yeah, right.
Slogan.
But it is a beautiful thing. I'm hugely in favor of civic. I believe you can mesh civic with commerce. So, but I'm hugely into community, civic, give back, all of that. So good job for that. And I know I'm running out of time, but I had one more question about your pricing. I know you said that you're pricing a little bit lower now because you're starting out and things like that. Have you done your market research? How low are you pricing? I want to know how low, because we don't want to go so low.
Right.
So
I
low.
think,
But I want to know, because I know you said you want to increase 10% growth, based on, the presentation you gave there. But how low are you pricing?
I think for the scope of work of what I'm doing, like on a full branding project, I'd like to be around $15,000 as an entry point, and I'm about half of that right now. But it's it's doable. It's a good place to start, and then I basically was able to translate my process into a workbook as well that kind of helps the solopreneur, and that's just $1,000 across the board. So it takes out, it requires less of my time, really, so I'm kind of it allows me or enables me to be able to offer a similar service at like a really low price, because I'm saving myself a bunch of time by utilizing the workbook. So, and I'd like to keep that always at that kind of price for the small people.
Yeah. No, that's great. Okay, good. Yeah, so you can have a price structure however you see fit. Just want to make sure that you're not pricing so low that you're pricing yourself out of jobs, or, a lot of people think that the lower the value, or I'm sorry, the lower the price is, lower the value. You want to make sure that you're always pricing for your work, for who you are, for what you've got up here. That's so important. So I just wanted to thank you for for the platform for that preaching moment.
Yeah, thank you. Hallelujah.
Thank
Are we
you. Let's hear it for Nelson. Okay. So good. I love it. Everyone's doing great. Aren't they, friends at home?
They are doing amazing.
Jane, wherever you are, Jane. Okay, while you guys have a minute to get yourselves together for the next and final, upcoming events. If you are trying to meet new people, or maybe you need to meet new people, like Nelson said, you might be an introvert, find your extroverted friends and come join us on May 30th. It's a Thursday. We're going to be down the street or over at Fame here in Holyoke. And it's going to be a really great night for us to just celebrate our entrepreneurs, to thank our volunteers, and it's just going to be a great night. And it's also on a Thursday, so there's karaoke after. So just in case you're wondering, John, you went there for not karaoke. Yeah, the karaoke comes quick. It happens so fast. Maybe, look at that. And John goes to his mentor meetings still. I love it. Okay. So yeah, please join us. It's going to be a great night. And in case you can't tell, we try to just bring good vibes only to all of our events. So you are all welcome. Bring a friend. Bring someone who should know about our program. And there's more, because you have to network if you're going to be a business owner, right, friends? So our friends at the Young Professional Society of Greater Springfield are hosting a networking event on Thursday, April 18th, right here in Holyoke at Conklin. It should be a lot of fun. It's another great crowd. We try to go to as many of these as possible. And the Chicopee Chamber is having their monthly after hours, after 5. That's in next week. So check it out. Grab an extroverted friend. Have fun, go meet new people. And yeah, we'll see you there, hopefully. Okay, last but not least, the queen in the green, slaying it. I'm gonna give this to you. Yep, you're good.
Hi.
Doing great. So that's how you move it. This way? Yep. Great, gonna kill it. Okay. Maria will have you tell her when you're ready, and she'll have the sign, okay?
Okay, I'm ready. Hello, everyone. I'm Coach Kim, Changework Financial Coaching. Let me start with a question. Who could use an extra $1,000? Anybody? Yes! That's what I do for my clients is I help them find and free up extra money in their budget. But to get started, we have to go way back to my 16th year with a mullet and a perm, I believe, back then. I got my first credit card when I was 16, and it was like love at first sight. The fact that I could buy something that I couldn't normally afford and just pay a small monthly payment had me hooked from the beginning. And a couple years later, I was over $20,000 in debt, and I sought out help. And a gentleman said, you should file bankruptcy because you can never get out of this. But my credit was important to me, so I fought through it, got a better job. I was a single mom for a long time, and I started buying properties, that woman investor. Yes. I used other people's money to buy these properties, and my hole just got deeper and deeper. Again, I was over my head. I did file bankruptcy in my late 20s. An unfun fact, it costs money to file bankruptcy, and I had to borrow from a friend on his credit card to file. So, yeah, but I still did not learn my lesson. It continued, let me go back there. It continued after that, because once I got a clean slate, the applications started coming in, and I started filling them out again. It wasn't till 6 years ago I wanted to leave this toxic day job that I was at for way too long. I found someone online, I learned some things, and I built my first budget. After that, becoming intentional and focused, I was able to pay off $18,000 in 8 months. Instead of wondering, where did my paycheck go? I planned in advance, and it really changed everything. Excuse me. After that, me and my husband paid off two mortgages, becoming debt-free. And I told everyone I knew about this. I bought the books, I was handing them out, and I just wanted everybody to experience the life-changing event that I had. But not everybody wanted to listen. So I saved up savings, and I quit that toxic day job, and I became a financial coach to help people that were interested in changing their money habits and behaviors, and to help them avoid making the mistakes that I've made for way too long. So what I do is one-on-one coaching, either in person or on Zoom, and we dive into all their numbers, their debts, interest, all that, work on some money mindset, and some money challenges and goals. And these are some success stories from my clients so far. A young man paid off 5 past due collection bills that were hovering for a few years. One woman paid off her home. One paid off student loans that she had for 20 years or so. A young couple expecting their first child bought their first home at 25 and 26 years old. A friend/client had a trip to Israel right before all that happened last year. She got in there, and that was a dream for her. 6 people became debt-free, and one young client found out that her kitty needed a $1,500 surgery, and she said, "Don't worry, Kim, the vet said I could just make payments on it after." And I was like, well, that's not why you came for me. We got to figure out something else. And after brainstorming and checking out our options, she was able to afford it without going further into debt, which was really nice. So together, we paid off a total of $189,000 so far. So they're doing really good. So EforAll has taught me, like Tessa said, some of us come in here thinking, everyone's our client, and that was me. I thought everyone could use a little help, but I found that's not true, and they had me narrow it down to my top 3. So this is Overwhelmed Owen. That was me for my whole life, overextended, unaware where my money was going, living paycheck to paycheck, and afterwards, after working with me, my value proposition is I've been there. I know what it's like. I know the feelings. I know the possibilities. And so after working with me, Overwhelmed Owen is clear and confident, paying his bills on time, paying down his debt, and able to save. Then my second one is Miss Independent. She craves independence, but she's not really sure how to handle her money, but she's willing to learn and grow. Afterwards, she is set up for success to be on her own. She knows how to budget wisely and plan for unexpected expenses. And the last one, I love this one, Holly and Henry Homebuyer. They want to buy a home, but they feel like it's a dream that's way too far off in their future. But after working together, they realize they see success, they see progress right away. They realize their dream could be a reality a lot sooner, and they're ready to start looking. And I plan on connecting with local realtors and mortgage lenders to find Holly and Henry Homebuyer. These are my goals for the Accelerator. Create 2 one-page handouts, connect with 5 realtors, and outline a workshop I'm building. And I barely made it. About a week ago, I finished the outline. So I did create the 2 handouts. I've handed those out a couple times with good results. I've connected with, I believe it's 9 realtors and 4 lenders now. So I'm starting to build those relationships. And I did outline the 4-week workshop. And the workshop is my stretch goal. So I will be completing it in full and hosting it by the end of the year. So that's exciting. My 18-month work plan is to host that workshop quarterly and continue to grow and meet and nurture the relationships with the referral partners and possibly identify a few nonprofits whose clients would be a good fit for the services that I offer. And of course, continue to coach my clients to great results. And these are the things that I have to do in the next quarters to help me reach those goals, which is host the workshop once a quarter. I would love to. I did one first-time homebuyers seminar about a month ago. And that was good, so I want to do that again. The research of the nonprofits and connections, and possibly finish this year in the black. That would be so good. And this is more of the goals. But speaking of finishing in the black, I've been in business now for a few years, and I have not made a profit yet. I noticed looking back that my income doubles every year, but apparently so do my expenses, and I wasn't really paying attention to that until we did our projections. I would just finish the year, do my taxes, and say, oh, look, I doubled my income again. That's cool, without realizing the expenses were right along with them. But since the projections, I now know what I need to do to double that income, and my expenses are kind of leveling off at this point. I have most of what I need to run my business. So I'm looking forward to that, and I see it's possible. I am a one-woman show at this point, but I do know I need to work on my scheduling systems and an automatic email sequence and campaigns. I'll definitely build out my CRM to keep track of where my customers are in my process and those relationships. So the social impact of what I do, I feel like money touches so many areas in our lives, where we live, where our kids go to school, the quality of food we eat, so much. And last year, our country ended up hitting over $1 trillion in credit card debt alone. And at an average interest rate of like 20%, that's $200 billion in interest payments a year that we're paying. So I feel like, imagine if we didn't have to pay that, how much better things could be for people. Being in control of your money instead of it controlling you, I feel like reduces stress and anxiety, increases confidence and belief in oneself, builds positive habits and behaviors, and all that could be passed on to the youngsters just to keep it positive and growing. So this is my ask. It's all about the workshop that I like to build out. I need some graphic design help for the exercises that I'll be creating. And I would like to start off by printing 50 bound workbooks. So that's $875. I would love to host in person. So I would need a portable projector and screen, and that's $365. And then I definitely need some help and guidance with printing, marketing materials, and promoting to make sure I have some enrollments. So that's my ask, and thank you, everyone. And that's my information to reach me. And I just want to add, close with my tagline, which is, I'm Coach Kim from Changework Financial Coaching. I help my clients take control of their money and kick their debt to the curb. Do you know what you have if you don't have any debt payments? Anyone? Money!
Oh, nice. Those look real, too. Are those real, Kim?
No, they're not real. No.
They look like it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
liked everybody else's intro, but I liked your outro a lot.
Oh. It looks real, doesn't it?
It really looks real.
I know. Is that for the judges? No.
Yes, yes. I'll pick it up.
Well, I'd like to start off by saying that thank you. And I love how you introduce yourself as Coach Kim.
Thank you.
That's pretty brilliant. I had to write your name Kim, and then I wrote, no, Coach Kim.
Oh,
So
thank you.
that's a brilliant, that's branding, right?
Yep.
What I wanted to ask, and I love your presentation, I love what you're doing, I love your concept. When you're talking about your expenses versus your profit, what are some of the expenses that are holding you back from making that profit?
Yeah.
The expenses. So there's a recent expense. I started paying $200 a month for some social media help. I had a grant last year that helped me for like 5 months, and I really enjoyed what they were doing. So I've paid for that 2 months now. I don't know that I could keep going with that. Besides that, the only other real high thing that I pay for is about $200 also. I'm a part of a group of mastermind financial coaches, and I get a lot of value, insight, help from that group. There's like 8,000. And actually there's 8,000 in the main group. The mastermind is like 70. So it's really intense, and I get a lot of help there. But
Okay.
it's mostly like the Zoom and Jotform and stuff like that.
Have you considered creating your own mastermind group?
I have not.
That's a good idea.
That's a good thing to consider.
How much is that mastermind that you're paying for? They're very
$197 a month.
Yeah, no, you can start one, bring in those networking folks that you had on the screen there, bring in some of those professionals. Masterminds are the way to go. That brings professionals together. It helps everyone. Everyone's looking for a referral. Everyone's looking to help. Some people aren't, but everyone's looking to help.
Okay.
And everyone wants that referral, right? So maybe you can consider creating a mastermind group on your own that meets once a month, or however. What's your current meeting time with, or frequency with the group
Usually
you have?
bi-weekly.
Right.
For my clients?
The mastermind group.
It's just always there. You could ask a question
Oh,
at
I
any
see. It's one of
time,
those. Okay.
type of thing. But
Yeah.
they have like a learning session or about once a month. Yeah,
Okay.
about once a month.
I had one more question, which was, what happens, or are you prepared? Because everyone wants to be debt-free, right? Everyone wants to be debt-free. Everyone is learning now. There's this wave and movement around saving, and the reason why I asked, in my nature of business, we deal with seniors in the community who need help, right? So we talk about saving and doing things for the younger generation and those that aren't so young to prepare, because we're all aging every day, right? So we have to prepare for our life after, when we get older. So what's your plan when you get an influx of clients? Are you currently working now? What's your end goal?
When you say, am I currently working?
Like a separate full-time?
No, I walked away from that toxic job 2.5 years ago.
Oh.
So,
Wow.
yeah, the paycheck stopped.
Great.
So I've been supporting my business on my own, basically, but I can't do that much longer. So this is the year. With those projections, things got to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other part of that question, when you do get out there on those platforms and people hear about Coach Kim and everything, and now you're getting all these phone calls, how are you equipped to handle that? Are you ready for that? Because this is a time right now that everyone's in when people want to talk money. They want to keep more of it in their pocket. They want to do more things. Just like you had up there on traveling and paying off houses and debt and all this kind of stuff. What's going to happen? Are you ready to handle? Are you equipped to handle when those phones and those messages come in and they want you?
Yeah, so I want to say yes, that's what I've been waiting for. But I just actually said to my husband today, I go, I feel like something's going to be shifting soon. Like, things are going to be happening. I go, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Like if a lot happens at one time, but I feel like I don't have a plan right now, but I'll just have to take it step by step, day by day. And
Well, this is what this is all
Yeah.
about. Make that plan now
Yeah.
because you know, just like everyone
It's
here, your
coming.
businesses are going to take off. So you want to be ready for that. You don't want to be intimidated by the calls that are going to be coming in.
Okay,
So good job.
good, thank you.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Bye.
So I loved how transparent you were about your story. I love stories. I feel like I connected more with you just because I'm a single mom, and it's nice to see another single mom or who was a single mom want to accomplish her goals. And honestly, you're really vulnerable about even like being debt, because I mean, being in debt is embarrassing sometimes. At least for me, it was sometimes. But I did want to say, what was the financial book that you read that changed your whole outlook on things and that like kind of steered you into where you're at right now? And then I have another question after that, but you can tell me that.
Okay, it was Dave Ramsey.
Of course it was, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Dave Ramsey.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But I stopped handing those books out because there was a lot of disconnect with some of the things that he did or said. And,
Right.
But I mean, it worked.
Right.
It worked when
yeah.
I implemented it. So
Yeah. And I did want to piggyback off of what Sina was saying. The marketing, what was it? The mastermind thing? Or what did you
Yes.
say? You could definitely do that on your own. Like you could do it on your own. Exactly what she was saying, like getting your clients and stuff and learning what you're learning now. You could do it in your own way and apply that for yourself because it gets pricey. It really does get pricey, but you can go on YouTube. You can educate yourself on your research and do that for yourself as opposed to giving your money to somebody else, at least in my opinion. And then also kind of what she was saying about the systems, because you're not prepared right now for like the growth, but we're never prepared for growth. It just happens. At least for me, it just happened. But that's why it's important to see what your system is and figure that out probably tonight, like after you leave here, because you could grow tomorrow. It's just like it just comes. So I definitely would recommend figuring out a system, because if you want to grow like ASAP, you got to make sure that you at least have some sort of system, because if not, you're going to be overwhelmed. And I say that even for myself, because I've experienced it. And yeah, we want growth and stuff, but definitely I would say the system is key.
Okay.
But you did amazing.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed it.
Thank you.
All right, Coach Kim.
Hi.
Hi. Great presentation. I really appreciated the way that you shared your personal story. I think that was very powerful. A lot of things that you touched on are things that I think about a lot. And I feel like we have a real gap in the youngest generation, you know, the young kids coming up, because they don't necessarily learn how to manage money. They don't learn how to plan their finances. They don't really understand the risks when they open that first credit card. So I guess I'm wondering if you've considered ways to reach more people before they get into debt, to kind of help them structure their lives and avoid kind of those pitfalls, as opposed to just helping them climb out of it.
That would be the second customer segment, Miss Independent. I have worked with a few young people, and it's really thrilling to see them get it before they make a mess of things. So that is a segment that I do want to reach. I am on social media, but I only got on social media when I started my business. So I'm not very savvy there, but that's why I got the little help that I have. But besides that, I'm thinking about maybe like community colleges, Boys and Girls Club, something like that, to reach the younger people.
Right. This is where your mastermind will come in handy. You know, you're going to be talking to other people who, and you want your mastermind to be diverse. You don't want it just to be all money, you know, coaching. You want it to be diverse. Some of those folks, again, that you're looking to partner with or whatnot, they're going to have children. They're going to know someone who knows someone. You know, if you have Miss Independent, that was me back in the day, by the way. But if you have your segment and you're pitching that well and you're meeting regularly with the group that you've created, then you will get people that will want to work with you. And that's huge. And just to piggyback off of what Kim was saying, Coach Kim Part 2. Coach Kim Jr. I'm all about the jokes, I know. I need to stop. But just to piggyback off of what she's saying, you know, you have to be ready, right? You have to take, if you're teaching other folks about expenses, money, budgeting, and everything else, and you're paying for something you don't need to be paying for, and you're not meeting, you know, your expenses are still outweighing your profit, you've got to walk the walk and practice what you preach. So there are different ways, just like she said, there's YouTube, there's this, there's that, there's us, you can talk with us, and, you know, some of your colleagues, and your cohort folks, you can talk with everyone, because you want to make sure that you're walking the walk. We know your story, it's personal, but and we appreciate you sharing that, but you want to make sure that you're doing and offering the advice that you're taking on your own.
I just want to add one more thing. So he had mentioned about the younger generation. That's me. So I'm Gen Z, and we don't really. Well, I know how to manage my money, but I think that comes with because I'm a mom. But before that, I didn't. And I know you were saying that you're not really social media savvy. You gotta stay on social media because that's where we're all at, including me. So there's so many videos that you can see on social media in regards to like the finances and stuff like that. But have you considered going into like schools or public schools, like high school or middle school? Because I never learned anything about finances. Like I think I learned how to write a check like when I was 20 or something, right? Because we didn't have any of those classes in high school or middle school. So have you considered donating your time to maybe doing a workshop with like students at class? Or I know they have electives, like that could be like an elective as well too. I'm sure that they won't turn you away, but have you considered doing that, like going into the schools before these kids get into debt? Because they're already kind of in debt, but.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be part of your social impact.
Right, yeah.
I did consider it, and I feel like that was something I asked around about a little bit 2 years ago, and I heard, I should keep going, but I heard that it's hard to get into the schools, and you need all this certain criteria and stuff, so.
You can make a way. You'll make a way.
Okay.
You definitely will make a way. That was 2 years ago. 2 years forward now, you know, you could definitely do it. And they will not turn away financial literacy. Like, I would recommend that. And if anything, I will help you get into that.
Well, that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to piggyback off of that. First, I want to say I did a virtual conference yesterday with Grant Cardone. He talks about 10xing your business and blah, 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 blah. Guru. One of the things that he was saying was that when you are marketing yourself, when you're marketing your business to people, the first thing you need is a compelling story, which you have a compelling story. I've memorized it. I was 18, I paid off $18,000 in credit card debt in 8 months. My husband and I paid off 2 mortgages. Like, it stuck. It sticks. Those are really important talking points to show what you can help people do. So thank you for crafting such a great story. Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but I'm glad that you were able to turn a negative into a positive. Back to the schools. There is a plethora of private institutions here that have tons of money. Deerfield Academy's tuition is like $65,000 a year. You know, Williston's tuition is $65,000 a year. Williston actually hires people outside of Williston to come in and do, you know, special classes on, like, you know, animal rights or, like, you know, a language that we've never heard of. So these are places, little pockets, you know. What is the one in Springfield?
BBC?
No. Oh my God. Wilbraham and Munson, right?
Okay.
McDuffie, right? Stoneleigh Burnham. All of these schools are here. Eaglebrook, Bement. They're all here, and they all have money. Lots of it. So utilize that. Going back to the first point too, right? Like, kind of in practicing what we preach. I'm curious. So I want to just get a little bit better understanding. Your expenses are outweighing your income. How many? You've had 6 clients. When did you start?
No, I've had, I think I've had close to 30 now clients.
30 clients.
Yeah, so like 2020, I think I had 2. That was a very slow year. That's when I started. And then 21, 22, 23. How about if I go back there?
Yep.
But so in the beginning, I had like hardly anything
Okay.
for expenses.
So you had 30 clients, and of those 30 clients total, since the beginning, you've paid off $189,091 in debt. Do I have that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So with the $189K with 30 clients, what would you say your yearly expenses are, just combined?
Right now, they're about $1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month with the social media help in there, but that's me. I didn't put any income for myself in there.
All right.
So that's
$1,000 a month in expenses.
Yeah.
And then what are we at income?
Last year was 9,000.
9,000
Yep.
in
So-
income.
Yeah, so 9,000, and my expenses were right around 10, maybe a little bit over 10.
All right.
So it's not a big loss, but it's not a profit.
It's not a profit, right?
Yeah.
So what is happening on a daily basis? How much time? Okay, so 10,000 expenses, 9,000 in income. How much time are you spending every day? Like, walk me through walk me through a day. Are we meeting with 5 clients? What are we doing?
No, like right now I have 2 a week that I'm meeting, actual
All right.
clients that I'm working
2.
with. Yeah, I only have 2 right now. But I feel like I put a lot of time and effort in the business.
Yeah.
But it's not a lot of client time.
Okay,
at
so
this
we've
time.
got 2 clients a week. How much does it cost you to meet with 2 clients a week?
How much does it cost me? I don't really have an answer for that, I guess.
Okay, do you have a financial sheet?
Not really.
Okay, all right,
Which is
cool.
crazy because I'm a
This is
coach,
good.
but
Yeah, no,
business
this is
numbers,
good.
yeah.
This is good, and we're going through a whole like detail thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna recommend, let's get a financial sheet, right? Let's break it down, how much it costs to meet with 2 clients a week, and how much 2 clients are gonna bring us. And then from there, we can start scaling, we can start tailoring back. Masterminds are great, but it's really an unnecessary expense right now. And also, there's a ton of people all over everywhere, like doing masterminds. Like you can just go on Facebook and find somebody who's like, oh, check out my mastermind, I'm a guru, right? So maybe invest some time in doing like little webinars. So we were talking about doing masterminds, right? Take some time to do some webinars. Hey, I'm Coach Kim. I got out of $18,000 in debt in 8 months. I did this. Click here. Click the link below to learn more about like how I can help you.
Okay.
Right? It's a quick video.
Yeah.
They'll click the link, and when they click the link, did you say you have a workbook that you wanted to do?
The workbook is part of the workshop that I want to create.
Okay, and is that free?
No, that's the
No.
workshop will be paid.
Great.
Yeah.
Click here, and then they can get your virtual workshop for $40, right? And then when you do your marketing, that'll reach, I don't know, 5,000 people. So if you get 10% of that, you get 500 people at $40. You've
Okay.
increased some income, right?
Yes.
And you've outweighed those expenses.
Okay.
So that's that. I'm not going to take up all the time. Tessa just stood up. My time is up.
Just trying to keep
Thank
you
you
all
for all
on
the
it.
advice. Thank
Let's
you.
hear it for Kim.
Yay,
You did it. Yeah, no worries. I like to be surrounded by $100 bills. This feels natural for me. This is great. Yeah, it's just like karaoke night. Awesome. I'm so proud of all of you. Let's give everyone a huge round of applause. You did it. Some of you probably were convinced that you were going to pass out right here, and none of you did. So you should all be very, very proud of yourselves. You have come really far. All of these people started the first week or even the first of interviews, and some of the mentors met all of you 12 weeks ago, so they can all agree. You guys start really quiet, not super confident. You're like sort of introducing yourself as an entrepreneur. And then 12 weeks later, here you are, killing it, got your presentation. I'm so proud of all of you, and I really hope you guys are proud of yourselves. So good job. So what happens next? Our judges, it's not due by Friday. That was yesterday. It was due by Friday. Judges, you're going to input your scores and feedback by Monday. Would be awesome. And tomorrow night is not round 2. That's tonight. I copied and pasted it's been a really long week. Our local advisory council will be meeting next week to help us make some tough decisions. I have at least one advisory board member here, and I think some of you are watching, so thank you. And then please join us for Showcase and Celebration. It is Wednesday, April 24th, and it's just so much fun. It's a great event. You'll leave feeling awesome. So please check it out. Invite your friends and family. And then mentors and mentees, you are not done here. This is technically a year-long program. Sometimes your mentor teams keep meeting after the fact. You guys are going to be meeting once a month for the next 9 months. And you will be meeting with us at quarterly check-ins. So start thinking about scheduling those now. Send out some calendar invites because you all are very busy people. So don't forget. And that's just a reminder. Our keynote is here tonight. Plot twist. I don't know if you guys knew that. I don't know if you realized that. Some of you were here last night, saw that. We're very excited to have you, Sina. And it's just going to be a good night. It's free, and it's just fun. So if you need a pick-me-up, please come join us. And if you're not already following us on social media, you're really missing out because Maria has been killing it since she's been working here. It was good before. Jane, if you're watching, it was good before. Social media is still good, but now we have Maria who's just diving in on it. So please follow us on all of the things. And thank you. We appreciate you. We know how busy you are, and we hope you had fun tonight. So thank you. Thanks, judges. Let's hear it for the judges one more time. Yay. Before you guys leave, I'd love to get just a group shot of you in front of the branded EforAll on this, and the entrepreneurs as well. And all the money on the floor. I just want rolling it. Thanks, friends. Have a good night.